Welcome back. Now, it seems the whole world, that's the one on which I'm standing rather than the ones behind me, wants to reach out into the universe. Both India and China plan to send unmanned missions to the moon in coming years, and they're also eyeing the next destination, that's Mars. They're not the only ones. The US has declared that putting a man on Mars is a priority, and the European and Russian space agencies are also developing technology for just such a trip. Lucy Ashton has more on the latest space race.
It's been almost 4 decades since these pictures were beamed back to breathless millions around the world. And now some say a human could be walking on Mars in the next 20 years or so. For the last 30 years, mechanical missions to Mars have been sending back images of the surface. The so-called rover pictures of rocks and gully formations have confirmed that water once flowed here, though the atmospheric pressure is now too low to sustain liquids. The next rover, due to arrive on the planet in 2009, will try to drill beneath the surface to look for ice.
We have ignition. 21.860 GMT.
But getting a man or a woman on Mars will be a major undertaking. A trip to the moon is a 3-day flight. Going to Mars takes 6 months, one way. The crew will have to spend more than a year squeezed into a tiny flight pod and may risk heavy doses of radiation. So though just a small step on a cosmic scale, any human mission to Mars remains a huge leap for mankind.
Dr. Robert Massey from the Royal Astronomical Society in London joins us now. Robert, first of all, I want to talk to you about Mars and other things like that, but tell me on a scale of 1 to 10 how excited you were by the discovery of this new planet way out in another solar system.
Well, it often feels like my job to downplay these things, but I have to say it pretty much was up there at the 9 to 10 level. It really is quite something to find a planet like that, something that might just have water on its surface and, you know, as has been said so often, might just have life, but we don't know yet.
The hairs on the back of my neck went up when I read it in the newspaper, and we were talking about it all day at home. What is it that makes you so excited? Because you live with these things every day.
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, it's almost like the holy grail of astronomy, the idea of looking for extraterrestrial life, you know, at the high-end other civilizations out there in the universe is one of the things that almost all astronomers are interested in. And, you know, whether we look for it on our own solar system, on places like Mars and Jupiter's moon Europa, or even on some of the moons of Saturn, or we look to other stars, which is probably more likely for advanced life, we look for planets out around other stars. It's a continuing quest, and I'd like to think it's one we